Hey guys. I was just having a realization about self-love. If you grew up not having any self-worth, if you grew up feeling overlooked, disregarded, not chosen, you probably aren't choosing yourself, right? And I've talked about this before. So that is part of it. And it's like, so I just posted something and there's this fear, this internal fear every time I post of like, what if nobody likes it? What if nobody comments? What if it's not valued by others? And the truth is, like, I know that I'm valued by others. I know that I'm valuable. But there's a part of me internally that doesn't believe that. And the fear doesn't come from what other people are going to say or do. The fear comes from my own beliefs about myself. And I'm saying this to anyone out there because this directly relates to you too. If that's how you feel about yourself, it's really not a fear of other people rejecting you. It's a fact that, like, there's a part of you that's already rejected yourself. And that doesn't mean that you always, that part of you is always going to be there. It's just, it's like a default. If you've always gone to this place of lack, you know, say for instance, you put yourself out there, you ask someone out, or you do something scary that puts yourself in a position of vulnerability. If you are the kind of person that I think I'm talking to, then you would always go to this assumption of rejection, right? Of assuming that you're not going to be seen or held or valued or accepted. And that feeling isn't coming from an external place. It's coming from an internal place. So I hope this is making sense. But I really felt like this message was important for somebody out there because I just had this realization and it really shifted the way that my heart felt in that moment. Like, no, I'm not afraid of other people rejecting me. I've come so far in accepting myself that at this point I'm just kind of like, you know what? Not everybody's going to be into what I'm doing. Not everybody's going to like me. There's a part of me that's already come to terms with this. And yet there's this old part of me that's still trying to pull me back into this assumption that I'm not valued. And it's easy to project that on the world and say the world is making me feel that way. But that's not true. The world made me feel that way in the past. Yeah, definitely. Because I needed to learn some lessons. You know, that's the only reason. And it's not playing out that way anymore. And yet there's this file, right? It's like rewiring the way that we think. We have to go back and create new neural pathways in our mind, you know? Think about it like grooves in the ground. But I'm just trying to picture like a well-worn path into the woods, maybe. There you go. So somebody already hacked down a bunch of, you know, a path through the woods, but it's going to a place that you don't want to go. But you always kind of end up back on it because it's, well, you know, it's visible. It's easy. It's default. Your mind just goes. Your body just goes because it knows the way. It's like, this is where we're going. We've always gone this way. But you're not going that way anymore. You want to go a new way. So you have to create a new neural pathway, a new groove in the earth, a new path through the woods, you know, to get you somewhere different. But is that going to be easy? No. It involves, like, for the wood analogy, it involves hacking back, you know, bushes and trees and maybe running into some animals that might be scary for you, or, you know, getting covered in cobwebs or having your arms cut up because you're walking through branches. And it's easy to just see this path that's already made and be like, oh yeah, let's just go that way. But we're being called to create a new pathway and ultimately a new ending to the story, because the pathway 456, the pathway that we're taking, we don't know where it ends because we've never done it. That's why the pathway is not cleared yet. Nobody's ever walked that way before. So we don't know where it's taking us. And that's another part of the reason why we might be afraid to go down that road. We're just like, we don't know what's down there. We know what's down this other road. We don't like it, but we know it. It's a familiar place. So yeah, I don't know who this is for, but just know that just because it's visible and it's known doesn't mean it's the right thing. And just because it's the easy way doesn't mean it's the right thing. Take some time to create some new neural pathways in your mind, and also challenge the way that you're thinking about things, and change the perspective, shift it around, really analyze, you know, be a journalist in your own life. Just like get all the details, because there are different facets of yourself that you create throughout your life. There are different sides of yourself, and they're all telling a different story. You know what I mean? Depending on what perspective they have. There's your childhood self, your teenage self, right? Your adult self, the damaged part of you, right? The heartbroken part of you, the part of you that felt rejected, the part of you that felt celebrated. All of these parts of you exist in tandem. And they all need to be kind of brought together, in a council to like kind of get the full picture before you can really move forward and make a different decision. So I hope that helped. In any case, I'm sending love. Hope you're having an awesome day. I'll see you next time.